Good day, ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners. What moves Africa forward? How can Africa become one? I am Afisika Kuziaou, artist and life coach from Togo. My answer to this clearly is, it starts on an individual level. Change starts there. It is by changing our mindset that we will move towards a better unification of Africa. It is by knowing that our differences are even a necessity to thrive on this planet. As we know, the history of our continent has shown that differences among us, among ethnicities, have led and still leads to conflicts among us. And these conflicts start small and they become bigger and bigger. It can start by a person or a group of persons who would not find it normal that the other or the others are different in the way they eat or the way they do things or the way they even look. And as long as we see our differences as a reason to mock others, this eventually develops into hate. And our continent, as a result, will not have a chance to unite. We are celebrating the International Day of Peace. How can we shape peace together? And here is my opinion. We can shape peace together by stopping to see our differences as a threat. And by understanding that, on the contrary, our differences are important. Yeah, how can this be? That is what I want to depict in the following. First, I will talk about what is the point about differences being important. And second, we will see what is needed to make our differences a chance rather than a threat. So first of all, how can differences be an opportunity? You see, on Earth, we have various and diverse needs to make a good living on the planet. Take a very simple example. All the things I have needed since this morning. Already to wake up, I needed an alarm clock on my phone this morning to make sure I'm on time for an appointment. But how does the alarm clock find its way to me? It is because somebody or even a team of people have specialized in precision mechanics to be able to produce that. I myself am not into dealing with precision mechanics. I'm not good at that. But I'm grateful that someone else is good at it. Someone else is interested in that. And so I can get my alarm clock on my phone. Or think about something else. My leg was aching and I needed to go to the physiotherapist. And thanks to her skills, she could locate exactly the muscle that was not in place and handle the situation. Now I'm fine and I can give my Afro dance class later. I'm lucky that she's passionate about structures and how things are built in the body to function together. So you see my point. Or I will give an Afro dance class later. People are happy that I have these skills to bring them. So every human being comes into the world with specific gifts and talents, and that serves us all. Although these people might be different from us, and they have to be different from us, they have to be interested in different things. Now, the gifts and talents are enriched by cultural heritage. What is cultural heritage? The intangible part of culture is a part that generations and generations of people of the same ethnicity have experimented, have refined and developed over thousands of years, and that are available to us as knowledge today. And it's a knowledge that could only be made available given a long time period. Now, going back to the individual, this cultural heritage will play an enriching role in the skills that that person possesses. Therefore, each individual on Earth possesses an asset made up of natural talents, cultural, intangible heritage developed over thousands of years, and skills. And given that, for sure, we are very different from each other, but we are different in order that we can make presents to each other. We can bless each other. So these presents make it possible for us to live an enriched and prosperous life on Earth. Knowing that, you understand the world is a joint creation with the diversity of humans forming a big team. And now we begin to see our differences as gifts that complete each other. But what is needed for these differences to be something positive? There is the need for support. We just saw that the more diverse we are, the richer life can be on Earth. But it is not enough to have a diverse humanity. In order to make this principle work, we need to understand that a human being that is being born into society will need support from the community in order to fulfill his or her purpose. This is because the purpose of a human being is not only defined by his talents, his skills, so on, his culture, but also by how these talents can be profitable to society. So a person might sometimes be unclear about the gifts that she brings. The person might have difficulties to acknowledge these and to develop an awareness about the unicity or particularity of her gifts. So she will need support from the community into which she was born to discover what these gifts are. And moreover, she will need guidance to find out how she can use these gifts for the well-being of the community. You know, in many traditional African societies, this principle, this system is highly developed. The human being finds its reason to be always in the community. And the community helps the new member to discover his purpose. The young child becomes receives a mentor with whom he will develop a close relationship that is based on trust and that will be fruitful for the young child. And such a way of being cannot thrive in an environment of mocking, of jealousy, envy, or even hate because of differences. Yes, the person might be weird in his ways, but let him be, because one day he might come up with something that will be of a high use for you, or for your children, or for your relatives, or your friends. See, when you understand that you are unique and that your mission on earth is different from that of others, that the purpose of everyone is very particular and unique to that person, there is no time to waste being jealous or envious of others or to harm them even. Remember, when you're harming others, you are harming yourself. When you harm somebody, you might be harming the person who would have discovered a medicine or something that would heal your particular illness or solve the problem of your children or of your relatives. So what can I do concretely on an individual level to change the situation, to be in the right direction? What we need to do is to change our mindsets. If we want to prosper as a continent, we need to change our mindsets. We need to put jealousy, envy, such things aside. We need to acknowledge that any other person on the continent, and this is also true for the whole earth, is necessary for the well-being of society. It is to acknowledge that in some way we are related to that person. It is important that the person successes and prospers in what he does. And this is the antidote to mocking, feeling superior, harming, or wanting even to block somebody else on his way. So whenever you feel negativity about others arise in you, say something positive upon this person. Say it in an audible voice. For example, say, may this person live a fulfilled life. And second, I want to address the feeling of jealousy and envy. There have been dramas with these feelings. These are emotions that often arise when somebody is doing something that we should be doing too. Or the person is actually showing a good example. The person is doing something out of his or her life, is being a role model. So ask yourself what this envy is showing you. Maybe you should have done some change in your life that you haven't done, and this person is doing it or has done it. This means you can learn from her and you can come closer in this way to your purpose. So replace the jealousy, the envy by gratitude. If that is difficult, then formulate again something, a sentence in an audible voice. Say something like, thank you for showing me that it will be good for me to be more disciplined. So all that said, you will have noticed it already. It requires us to have an attitude of humility. We need to be humble. We need to accept that everybody is important and everybody is valuable. Everybody can teach us something. Everybody, even the person who's not wearing stylish clothes or is not even speaking in a refined way or has certain eating habits, or everybody is necessary for the well-being of the whole. And recognize that diversity is necessary and that we need to live in peace with each other, to support each other in our success, to create a prosperous life on earth for us all. So the success of the other person matters to me. I should support the success of the other person. It is important that the other person thrives, that the other person is prosperous. And that person can be a role example for us. So, a happy International Day of Peace. I'm looking forward to you sharing your thoughts and reactions to this subject. Follow me on Instagram under Afisika, AFISIKAA. Don't hesitate to write, to reach out. Follow Oyaji Africa, exactly Oyaji Africa, OYAGI Africa on Instagram, and let us know what your thoughts and comments are about the subject. Happy International Day of Peace, and talk to you soon.